Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the show. Jenna, Brad, good to see you guys
Happy New
again.
Year.
Hey, Happy New Year, January 1, 2024. Good
You,
grief.
you believe that?
Oh my gosh, 2022.
No, no. 2023, it came and it went.
Quite quickly, right?
It did.
Quite quickly.
Yeah.
I think 2024 is even going to accelerate faster than 2023. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Kind of hope
As we get
so.
older.
It is. We have so many things going on in our lives. I know Jenna, you and I are kind of same position with our properties. We're trying to sell and buy and build.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's going to consume so much of our time, right?
it is. Yep.
It is. It is. So a lot of news and a lot of drone news out there is what I was trying to say. DJI new legislation was just signed that prohibits any U.S. government agencies from using DJI products. It doesn't mean that consumers can't buy them or use them. It just means that any .gov agency will not be able to use DJI
Or
products.
anybody affiliated with the government as well, right?
Contractors,
So it's
that's
not
right.
just
If,
contractors, right?
yeah, if it's billable to that account, you're not going to be able to use that product. So, yeah, this. So tonight's topics, as you guys probably saw, was reliving 2023, and also just kind of let's see where we're headed in 2024. Just kind of predictions out there. So let's just start with 2023, and then we'll get into 2024, and we'll talk about some of the DJI bands that are going on, and see how that's going to affect. I guess the future of DJI products and some of the education programs that they have related to drones. Not only drones, but DJI has that programmable, that little car. Remember we saw that at Spin Up? Remember that? That was that little,
Yeah.
Yeah,
little.
what's that called?
That's an educational product too. I know Jenna,
Yeah.
you're probably going to look it up too. So as am I. But let's just get started on 2023 and reliving it. So, what are the things that we reliving? Hey, I think you have a loose mouse in the background, Jenna. Can you step on it over there? Anyway,
No, my phone. Well, no, my phone fell. I had to catch it.
it's usually my microphone that does everything bad. Yeah, so reliving 2023, we had a lot of events going on, right? We had a South Florida drone meetup, and then from there we went to, oh gosh, a bunch of other meetups, and then Spin Up, right? So, yeah. So Akirasho, that's right. It's called the RoboMaster. That's the DJI product we were
Yeah.
talking about, and it's a very
Oh,
cool
we
product.
Yeah.
we there's also DJI, and it's on their website right now. They have an automotive page. So it's actually I can share real quick if you want.
Sure, sure.
Let me. Oh wait a minute, wrong button. Let me share with
This,
audio. This is interesting. I didn't even know this was here, but it's safe and effortless travel for everyone. So I don't know what this video is. We can possibly take a look at it. It seems interesting on the surface. Let's see if I can go full screen.
世界因感知而存在。
Okay, it's not English.
it's a pretty horse.
Yeah, let's
在
apparently
通
have.
往未来的路上，放手就能驾驭神秘的未知。
Safe and effortless travels by a horse.
Yeah, yeah.
真正的道路，
Here we go. Here we go.
感知力
Uh,
犹如拥有上帝视角，
In the eye of the storm, to the eye of the horse.
I don't.
都已经 境之间拿捏距离
Round
与
and
分
round we
寸，
go.
在复杂场景中展现极高灵敏度。
I don't know what we're looking at here.
Hey guys, I
在
hope
真
you
实的世界
smoked some good stuff tonight.
刀剑未来。
I thought this was something to do about. It's supposed to be something to be automotive.
Go ahead and speed it up some, Brad. Let's see. Maybe we get to the punchline.
I'm gonna move it up a little bit.
Yes,
If it's
okay.
automotive, it's 1 horsepower.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all just showing us. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
大道轻松，
Here we go.
安全
Oh, it's a
，Let's see
car.
what this little. It's a hint. Watch, here it comes.
大道至简，信马由缰。
It's something to do with the car. I don't know what, but it's an automotive site that you can get to auto.dji.com right from their website. I did find the RoboMaster when we were talking about this because that's what we were talking about originally. But
So you went down that rabbit hole, huh?
I went down that rabbit hole and I have no idea what that's all about, and now we all don't know what we don't know what it's all about.
Well, it makes so much sense that they would migrate, or should not just say, thanks, Karen. Appreciate it, man.
Ken says that in the same microwave. Thanks, Ken. Are you talking about this microwave, this oven, Ken? Or are you
he
talking
is.
about this microwave? There's the microwave. I got 2 different things here. I can't adjust.
Hey,
Yeah,
Ken,
thanks,
you better
Ken.
double that up then. He's got 2 of them, man. So,
What's funny? My wife and I were just talking tonight. The oven over here, which looks like a microwave, that's on its last leg. It's a convection oven, and the fan doesn't work in it, so we can still cook in it. And she cooks 90% of our meals in it. Anyway, this is off a sidebar, but we need to replace that. So, Ken, thanks for calling that out. But ours is not looking good.
all right, let's digress back. So, Jenna,
Dial it back a
you
little
pick
bit.
up the pieces for us here. Let us know where we were.
So we were talking about RoboMaster, right?
Yeah. We're talking about RoboMaster, and it's a good teaching aid because everybody programs that thing, and it's open source. Hey, Charles. And so with the litigation finally being signed, I guess that means that because they're going to stop what? They're talking about stopping the educational funding? Is that what I heard?
The thing that I saw, and I'll give credit to the DroneDJ.com website, was I'm scrolling up. I won't share this right now, but DJI shutting down educational drones and robotics division ? And it says something like it looks like DJI could be prepping to shutter its STEAM education division. I haven't really read the whole article. It's just something I saw this evening. Probably should have did a little homework, but that's what I saw, and I don't know what it's all about. But it probably, Alan, you and I were speaking about this before the show started. Probably something to do with the whole thing with us banning the drones here, and they're counteracting by doing something like that to us.
I agreed. I mean, it's probably tits for tats or whatever, however you say it.
Yeah.
Jenna, what are your thoughts?
Hey, John Glenn in the house. How you doing, John?
So what do you think, Jenna? Do you think they'll shut it down just because we shut down their government business?
No, not just because. Like everything is, always trace it back to money in a way. I mean, is it
Not
something
profitable?
that could probably
Politics.
Well, it's either politics or money. In the sense, was that a division that was kind of, the low end of the totem pole, next up on the chopping block sort of thing? And if it's a revenue, if it's a substantial loss in revenue, that they're not going to be, losing either government and government affiliated contracts. that's probably not an unsubstantial thing that they would possibly be losing. Like, I don't know.
Agreed.
And so, if it's not, if it's not returning much to them, then it's possible.
I don't, Brad and I were talking about the video that Russ put together for Drone 51. And he made a very good point, that Skydio has always wanted that business because it's the only U.S. drone manufacturer, right? And they do pretty decent stuff. And their lobbying expenditures are about 1.4 million, if I remember right, and DJI's is 4 times that. So DJI is close to $5 million in lobbying money going into to pay for their representing them in our how should I call it, legal extortion system.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. You have to pay to play.
Yeah.
And you get your money together and you hopefully get some influence.
But I agree with you. I think it's probably, well, I mean, it's obviously being done because of politics, but the fallout from it at the company, is, I would think would have a financial impact.
Well, the other thing too is it going to be a trend with the rest of the governments? So is the European Union going to follow?
I would think they're probably looking at it very strongly right now.
Is the Latin American continent going to follow? So because of the U.S. is kind of a trendsetter that way because of the influence we wield.
Well, the U.S. politics, is very divisive anyway. And
finicky.
Some countries kind of see through the ink in a way and say, okay, is it okay if we got rid of this manufacturer, they provide a product that we use, it's valuable, it helps us, blah blah blah. Okay, we get rid of it, right? Is there something comparable to replace it?
Skydio is the only one that's going to be. Well, Skydio shut down the consumer division. They're just using commercials now.
Yeah, and I said comparable, so.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I had heard Skydio was being affected by this as well, as far as on the government level. I'm not 100% sure I've seen anything. I was looking on that site to see if any Skydio news about that. But if anybody in the chat knows Ken, I know Ken Herron's up to speed on that stuff a lot. But it seems to me, I thought I heard that the government's looking at Skydio as being a banned drone as well.
I think you're thinking of Autel, Brad. They're looking.
I'm thinking of Autel.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
I think that's what you're thinking about. Skydio's a U.S.-based company, so they're not going to go after them. Autel. And actually, what is happening is basically Skydio ended up getting somebody's ear, and I think it was one of the senators or somebody in the. I'm not sure what affiliation of the party is, but anyways, somebody out of Florida, they got their ear. There you go. That's it. And he's got the 2 because the antenna, version 2 of the Skydio 2, because the antennas flip on that one. So my version does not have that. So that was an improvement.
Yours is what, the first version now?
Yeah, of the Skydio 2 V1. That's a V2.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Yeah, I love that product. It's just a little finicky when it comes to taking off with low light conditions. And you got to make sure your cameras are clean. You know what I ended up doing with my case? I ended up putting the Skydio logo on it because that's what it looks for when it lands. It is looking to match the Skydio logo.
So I've heard that. It'll land right on that case.
Yeah. So, let me pull it out. I'll show you.
Yeah, I always thought that was a pretty nice looking drone. I remember when the B1 version or the Skydio 2 came out, the B1, the first one. I almost bought that thing, but I
Yeah,
think
so
I
that's
remember it
what
being quite
I
expensive.
just fly right off the top of this thing. So usually I just fly right off the top of this thing and lands right on top. You can see I just taped it on there. I didn't even have a what do you call it? The vinyl cutters, like those crickets everybody has.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a nice drone, but very expensive when it first came out, and it seems like it was more expensive than the Mavic. What was that out at the time? Mavic 2 when it came out.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more. It was like, gosh, it was like $600 more than that at least.
Yeah,
Um,
very advanced drone, but it was hard to compete with DJI back then. For me,
yeah,
being a DJI fanboy, I guess people would call me, but yeah.
no antennas here
Yeah.
at all. I do have 3 good batteries for this thing.
Well, the thing is, Brett, I mean, it wasn't a drone that could compete with really anything that DJI has. I mean, and Skydio is kind of a different beast.
It is because it's the best tracking drone on the market that is commercial, right? Um, there's no other tracking drone that is this good. The only one that comes close to it, in my opinion, is the Mini 4, which is doing better than the Air 3, in my opinion. The Air 3 doesn't track as well. I don't know what they did with with the new lenses, with they have those Insta360 lenses on there. You know what I'm talking about, the wide angle lenses. They must have got something different. New lenses. I don't know the algorithm, but
It needs an upgrade. I mean, it needs to be more reliable. It just needs to be
yeah.
a better package.
It's just like the Teslas. Would you trust that Tesla to drive you around everywhere? Hell no. Not considering how many hundreds of people have been killed by it, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
So the point being
I
is,
just saw I just saw about a thing about the truck. There was an accident with one of the trucks here recently. Somebody crossed the middle of the road and ran head on into a Tesla truck, and the truck didn't do anything to avoid it. Now, granted, it might have been at the last second, but which is
Yeah, that's
avoidable.
kind of what it sounded like. I read that article. That's like a young driver crossed over right in front of the truck's path.
Yeah, sure did.
No time.
Almost destroyed the little car, but the truck. I didn't really see a whole lot of pictures of the truck. It looked like it was damaged pretty good, but
it didn't catch on fire. Thank goodness, right? So, imagine a freaking lithium-ion battery fire. Holy moly!
Yeah.
So, what do you guys predict for Skydio? Do you think they're gonna really go after that high-end surveillance market that the government agencies are using it for? But there's so many, cases out there where DJI drones have helped so many people.
Yeah. I feel like there's already something that's being in the works, and that's the reason why this ban has been put into place. I think I don't want to say conspiracy theory, but I feel like something was in there to get DJI out of the way, if you will, when it comes to the government side of things.
I think it's more politics, Brad. I mean, in my humble opinion, I just think it's more politics
than
anything else at this point.
Yeah, I could go with that.
But we'll see. I mean, right now, I like Skydio hasn't put out anything, like any teasers or anything, or any plans or whatever. I mean, it'd be nice if a market's opening up. I mean, God forbid that a really strong U.S. manufacturer of drone-based products.
If they were doing something for at that level for the government, though, we wouldn't see any of that, right? We might hear about it once it's out, but we probably wouldn't see any. I don't know. I guess there's always rumors and speculation, and maybe even some pictures, hints of pictures. But I think, as opposed to the consumer world that we're in mostly, I think the government world side of things, the commercial grade stuff, we don't hear about that as quickly.
All right. I want to just Jenna, did I interrupt you? Did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, here's what I was thinking. Okay. So we're adversaries with China, right? Now with Taiwan Straits and Taiwan trying to fend off the threats from China. And guess what? They make about 100% of all AI chips. Okay? And Apple and a lot of the other manufacturers are going to start moving their operations over to Mexico, because the labor in Mexico is just as cheap as in China, okay? But there's no taxation if you ship it across the border over here. And so it looks like what's going to end up happening, a lot of the industry is going to move on to China, into India, and Mexico.
Al, we're getting a whole lot of scratching and feedback from you now all of a sudden.
Oh, no, not again.
I mean, it's the same noises. It's these same noises you've had for a long time. It must stem right down.
It is.
I don't know where that comes from, but
yeah. Well. I'm sorry about that. Well, Happy New Year.
Do you have that microphone on?
Yeah.
Do you have that microphone on, or do you have the one on your headphones?
No, not that I know of.
No, that's not on that one. Yeah, you got a little crackling going on. Okay, moving on.
All right, moving on. So, sorry, apologies for the audio, guys. I'll mute once I finish speaking. But yeah, I'm just thinking that, what we're going to see in the upcoming years, everybody's going to start migrating their operations out of China as China's population is also starting to get older. And not only getting older, but they're also getting wiser and getting more money. And therefore, prices have gone up. But we've seen this happen in other regions. Remember when Japan was producing all those products?
Hey Al, we're losing you bad. Your audio is just going worse and worse and worse, in my opinion. I don't know if you're hearing the same thing, Jenna, but I can hardly hear. Yeah, Ken says
time for
cheers. Cheers. Ken says unplug your mic and plug it back in, Al. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. I'll give it a go.
Ooh, that's good.
What is this, New Year's all over again? New Year's Eve?
Well,
Did this help any at all?
It did.
It did? Okay.
It did. I think it did. No crackling.
Well, I got rid of the microphone.
So yeah, we can hear you.
Trying the microphone and the camera and see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was saying, we're going to see a lot of the manufacturers start leaving China as plants are being made. Actually, one here in Virginia over by Waynesboro, they just signed a big old deal to start making chips here in Virginia. And they're doing it in the Shenandoah Valley because so it looks like that's all going to happen because, if you think about it, if anything breaks out over in China with Taiwan, we're screwed. I mean, screwed. Yeah. And so if we don't have any of those manufacturing here in this side of the world, we're screwed bad. And we know it. And so we're hedging our bets already. We're starting to move some of that stuff over to this continent, this side of the world.
Yeah, and the same thing upstate New York, they're breaking ground, or they just about will, for a $hundreds of million chip factory, actually around the Syracuse area. So they are, and I say they, the politicians, industry, et cetera, kind of wising up in the sense that we need to have more of our strategic interests here, whatever it is, whether it be chips or whatever, actually made here in the U.S.
Or Mexico. I would rather see the money go into this continent. Then, if Mexico becomes more of an economic powerhouse or engine, a lot of the migrants would not want to come all the way up this way. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
But Mexico is not as nice as the U.S. Their policies are really rough. Like, for
Yeah.
example, if you were trying to get into Mexico from Guatemala just to get in to Mexico, man, they would just like, they would not be very nice about that. So, but I think that's the trend that I'm seeing happening in the world. I think it's
Or
gonna have
you
to.
remember Al? They opened up a chip factory out here, out the eastern
What
side of
a
Richmond, and they tried that for what 10 years, and it failed miserably, and they shut that place down, and you wouldn't even know it was there
I know it's
before.
White Oaks, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep, White Oak. Yep.
And as soon as that chip plant announcement was, property values jumped 20% that
Yep.
day.
And they started booming out that way.
Well, it's a good thing because out there now, it's tons of corporate America right now. CarMax moved
Yeah.
their operations there, headquarters is there. And then we've seen a lot of the other suppliers move out that way too. So it wasn't all bad because the infrastructure was made there to be able to host a lot of trucks and just the infrastructure for what would you call it, manufacturing.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we beat that horse to death by now. Let's talk about. Yeah, I know, right? 2024. What do you guys want to see? What do you think is going to come out? Do you think we're going to have another potato? Do you think we'll have a 7-inch? Do we have a 4-inch? Do you have a 3-inch? What are you guys thinking? What do you think is going to occur as far as remote ID? I think remote ID is dead. I don't think anybody's going to be able to enforce it, and nobody's going to really care. What's going to be the biggest problem is the Karens out there. They're going to be
Yeah.
chasing us down, right? So, are you going to buy the remote ID module and move it from drone to drone? So, what do you think is going to
Go
happen?
ahead,
What do you
Jenna.
guys,
Go ahead, Jenna.
Well, I'd like to. I mean, maybe an 04 unit for something like this, which, God forbid, it would have remote ID built into it.
Hey, can you put that closer to the camera, Jenna? I'm going to make you big.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
That sure is a nice looking drone.
And there's not a single scratch on it.
It does. I haven't crashed it yet, and this is actually the drone that Ken Dono.
Yeah, you
built.
won that thing. It's
No, and I have flown it, not a lot, but we had another participant actually fly it, and it actually flew through 2 trees and came down and hit the road. It just a testament to the person who built it. Props got trashed, but yeah, no, these are new.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it was it was a little scratch here and scratches on the TPUs, etc. It hasn't been flown extensively yet, but it has been flown.
It's been cushioned.
It has been christened.
Thankfully, props are all consumables and they're not that expensive.
Yeah. No, but that would be a really nice thing to have is 04. And 04 and remote ID built in. So like these aren't a problem or perceived as a problem or something where people are going to think that like, oh my God, the hobby is dead and dying because you need to do this, that, or whatever. It's just, you've got a package deal and it's all right there. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I agreed. And, oh, geez, I forgot to take this off from Miss Jenna. Sorry. You ever... Yeah. I mean, remote ID. It's an interesting concept to control the airspace, and why is it that they're trying to control those frequencies? Why do they want to lock us out of those frequencies? What do you guys think? You think it's
For the
because
future of
Amazon
space.
wants it all?
Yeah, it's for the future of space travel, right? For deliveries, for air taxis, which are coming. We'll probably see that easily in our lifetime.
Will they squeeze the
Unless something
hobbyist
drastic.
out of those frequencies
Yeah,
and stuff?
yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
So,
think they
but
will?
I
I
don't
was gonna,
know.
I was gonna say, I think political desire got ahead of reality in a sense. It just, all right, we need to do this. We need to do this because this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Well, this isn't going to happen. I don't think for quite a while. And remote ID now through 2024, 2025, I bet it's not going to change a thing.
Right. I agree. I totally agree
I
with that.
just hope those apps are not downloaded and used to I don't know how
Well, all it takes is
pilots.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going with that, Al. I mean, I think all it takes is one person, though. It's gonna be bad. I mean, we're going to hear about these stories. Hopefully not, but we're going to hear these stories about the person that's going to go out and search these people, and because it gives the general public the ability to track the pilot and the drones.
And there's a lot of people out there in society that really do not like drones. Really, they do not
Right.
like
That's
them
right.
at all.
That's
You
right. They
know,
hate drones.
they hate drones because they think they're spying on everything. And we
Well,
all
they
know.
just listen to everything. They just
Yeah,
listen to what everybody else says, like the Karens, if you want to call them that. Saying that they're spy. They look in your houses. They spy on your children in the swimming pool and take pictures of your kids and stuff like that. I mean, it's all
there
the
is
furthest
some of
from the
those.
truth.
There's no doubt, but yeah,
Well,
not much.
well, I have yet to see. I have yet to see a story that's been held up in court to say that somebody's actually doing that, spying on kids. And I mean, I'm sure it could be out there. There's always bad actors, of course,
Agreed,
but
agreed.
it's very small.
All right, so I
I don't
want
know.
to.
I feel like the remote ID is not going to ever really take off too well. I mean, and it's not going to be. Um, there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to adhere to those rules, and some will get in trouble, a lot will not. But they're not going to be policing it. It's still going to be relying on the general public to in a sense, turn these people in, that are not using remote ID. I mean, that's the way I see it. I might be wrong, but yeah, you spat on what roast on. Yeah,
I know, I
there's got a
know.
lot of ways you can twist that around. I think something I heard, and I don't know if it was Russ with 51 drones. It might have been. I was watching some of his video today, and yesterday I watched some others. But about this,
Yeah, you're right with the
about the
phone.
ban. That's true too.
It looks like
And
you're
you don't
looking
have all
at.
the,
Yeah, you look like just surfing the web, or you're actually using your camera.
and the cell phone. Yeah, the cell phone. Everybody's got them, so you don't know if somebody's spying on you or not. I mean, and there's no noise along with it, so you don't have to worry about the props. But
Yeah, I agree
if
with the
they
John
build in,
Flynn.
if here's what I think, if they build into these drones the ability to track other aircraft, which they already do this, you already have that built into it, and to tell the drone whenever there's a conflict in the FAA rules or something. Maybe there's something in the firmware that keeps track of all the FAA rules. And when you're flying your drone at 400 feet AGL or less, there's an airplane. I have an airport 4.95 miles from my house. That's how close I am to the outer 5-mile limit. If an airplane takes off and I'm in my backyard, which I have a limit of 250 unless I step in my in-laws' yard, which Al, then I can go up to 400. But if there's an airplane or a helicopter or anything that's coming within the airspace above it, then my drone should automatically say, okay, you need to come down to 50 feet or less or 100 feet or less. That's what I'm looking to say that will help this whole thing with the remote ID in a different way. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I feel like the drone I hate for them to have control of it, yes, but I would like to see something like that in place as opposed to RID. Just have it so the drone automatically, has the ability to drop down in a safe manner, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, not kind of, but I mean, they have geofencing, and we all
Yeah.
know how much we love that. Um,
Yeah, well, I have helicopters that run up and down the James River here right behind me. I'm within a half a mile of the James River in Richmond, Virginia, and military helicopters are always below 100 feet. They run up and down the river below the tree line in some cases because the river drops down below the tree line up where I live. I'm about 100 feet above the river, maybe 75. But when they come down, you can't see them. All you do is hear them because of the echo, and then you might catch a glimpse of the propellers, or the helicopter propellers. But if that was to happen, and I'm flying anywhere near there with the drone, then the drone should automatically say, okay, you need to come down. You need to land those aircraft in the area, and they're at this elevation, or again, I hate for somebody else to control something I own or something I bought, but if it's a safety thing, I get it. Bring the drone down to 50 feet, or move it out of the zone of that aircraft, the approaching aircraft.
yeah, if they've got the ADBS,
Yeah.
if they're broadcasting, but
But the drone's not reacting to that, right? It's just telling you.
no, and some military aircraft. Remember, what is it that? God, what was it over the summer? And they lost it. Was it F something? 22 or something that they lost because it wasn't broadcasting.
Yeah, I remember vaguely something about that story. Yeah.
I think you're right. It was at 22. It was
And
Florida, wasn't it?
was a problem, but that's one of the things with military aircraft. Right. I mean, if whatever is flying, if it's not broadcasting its presence, I mean, nothing can pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's all visual by then, right?
Right.
And you know what? At the speed they're doing and the speed our little drones fly, we're not going to be, unless you're flying your FPV, which normally doesn't have any kind of, telling you to get out of the way, except for the DJI stuff. If you're in a flight path, you're in big trouble. If they're doing that river run, that joy run you're talking about, the James River. I've been flying the James River, and a couple of helicopters come flying way below what they should be flying at.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy, I was just there where he just came through. You know what I mean? He would have just taken me right out. Yeah, it would have taken me right out. I was like, the pilot would have been like, what was that? A mosquito hit this? It probably would.
Hey, Charles has a good point, and I didn't even think about this. The military aircraft do not broadcast, so they don't broadcast to the normal channels, right?
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. That's right. That's why that F-22 got lost, is because they're not broadcasting.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. And we'll see where it goes. I mean, again, I don't think this RID is the right way, or at least the way they're doing it, given everybody the ability to track the drones and the pilot in command, the remote.
So, Jerry Bauer, what happened to the helicopter and the drone? And he was talking about he was doing a hyperlapse and a freaking helicopter flew right by him. I know. Helicopters, man.
No, don't post it, Maddie. Don't post it, because you'll still be in the wrong, and it's all it takes is one person to send that into the FAA. Even though you were probably in the right, but
I don't think it was Maddie flying. Wink, wink. Right, Maddie? I don't know who that was.
Yeah, well, maybe it was just an SD card that you found.
Yeah, like I heard somebody else claimed, right? Remember that? I remember that one recently.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's a prosecution nightmare for them. It really is.
Oh, I see. Jerry said they all survived in the chopper, but the drone destroyed and $60,000 in damage to the rotors. Wow.
Oh my God.
Well, that's probably because it probably wasn't 60,000 in damage. They probably had to replace all the rotors.
Yeah.
Because it smacked all the rotors. It didn't matter if it was minor damage or not. They had to be replaced.
Yeah, because they're polymer, man. Something like epoxy
Yeah.
or something like
Well,
that.
it's just like our drones. You shouldn't be flying with a chipped or a cracked or any type of damaged prop on our drones. People do it. It just depends on the severity and what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're talking about FPV now. Let's talk about some of the Ukraine footage we've been seeing, man. It's just incredible drone pilots there, FPV pilots. I saw the latest one I was looking at. You see this troop of Russian infantry guys jump under the tank, okay, and hide.
Mm.
And you see the FPV drone flying ankle high, just fly right underneath that tank and detonate. Just
Oh my gosh.
you saw them where they went, and he just went right after them, just took them all out. So I know there's a couple people in my class at the university that ended up going to Ukraine just to fly drones to help them out. So it was pretty interesting that people
It's a war of drones, right? I mean, what Russia? They said they had the biggest drone aerial attack. 60 drone attack on Ukraine just the other day or something.
They went for it too,
It's-
and basically they're just trying to break the will now because they're targeting. Oh gosh, what did they target? You remember? It took out a lot of
I think
civilians.
power plants or power something or other. Where a lot of people were out power. It really highlights and will, I mean, forever change, the face of warfare in a way, just small tactical surgical warfare.
And I'll tell you what, if you're a tank operator, anybody, you're going on.
Al, I got something to share if this is the right one.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Yeah, I mean the operators of the tanks now have just been taken out left and right because, heck, you buy 1,500 build your own drones. It's just put an explosives on it and just run it right into it or drop it. Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a look and see what Brad found here.
I think this. I don't know if this is it or not, but it seems like it could be. No, this might not be. This is not the same thing what you were talking about, right?
But he's definitely.
I mean, this is using a drone that was supposedly an FPV drone.
It was. It looked like it had.
Yeah. All right, that's not exactly what you were talking about, but
you can keep looking. That's for sure. Let's see what we got going on in the chat here. Molotov cocktails, said Akira Show. Oh man. If you ever have experimented with Molotov cocktails, man, they're just fun and dangerous all at once. That's for sure.
Okay, here's okay. The Matic put a link in the chat for the drone that caused the damage in the helicopter, but I see pictures and stuff, but I don't know if we need to share that or not.
Hey guys, do me a favor for administrative purposes. Do you mind going over there and hitting that thumbs up button? I know there's 12 of us in here right now. We got 4 thumbs up, so hit that thumbs up if you can. I appreciate it. And let's see. Oh yeah, I wanted to. If you haven't seen Jenna's video on that. What was that video you posted that everybody loved, Jenna? That was the B-29?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
I just did another one for Whiskey 7. But but no, it was the B-29 video that took off.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was very surprised. And the Whiskey 7 video, that was, again, that was a ride video, which is really, really cool. To ride in, Whiskey 7 was the lead aircraft in the second wave of dropping paratroopers during D-Day. And ride in that plane and literally be able to look out the window and see the same view that they would have seen, effectively, for training, because, the countryside in upstate New York would have looked like the English countryside. So, yeah, it was just really cool.
Well, guys, if you guys have not seen Jenna's channel, you need to go over there and visit, man. She's got some really cool stuff. And just you can see this video of hers has got 87,000 views, guys. So you have to go check this stuff out, okay? This is like really like propeller head stuff, right, Jenna?
It is. No, it is. I mean, it's World War II aircraft. I mean, it's another awesome hobby that I love. That just draws attention, to the time frame,
Right.
to the the time period, which I think it's just incredible of what our men and women did during that time. I mean, so focused, and they just did such incredible things. I mean, feats that, you step into these old planes like the B-25 there, and it isn't even close to the type of safety that, or not safety, but the type of stuff that you would, even modern amenities that you'd even have in like a little paper cup or something. It's just, and, to be able to get into the front of the plane, to be able to, you have to crawl on your back to get to the front of the plane to like fire machine guns and stuff like that.
I like the Hawaiian girl here.
On the dash.
She's wiggling those hips.
Yeah, and it takes two people to fly those planes.
Yeah, so this is real aviators. Like I mean, today is definitely that way too. But the computer basically does so much for them now. I mean, most of the aircraft that we're building now for the next generation fighters are going to be able to be remotely piloted, right? Like the B-21 can be remotely piloted. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, we're definitely. I'm loving this props here, and if you guys have not seen these videos, you need to go over there and check it out, because Jenna gets like front seat view here. You know what I mean? And this
they're fun. They're fun, but the coolest video I think that I've ever made here on this channel is the one where you've got the 360 camera on the underside.
Underneath it, yeah.
I just think, and I reposted it because like the landing got cut out of the first video, which I didn't recognize.
It's like, I think it's this one right here. This is the one you're talking about, right, Jenna?
I think so. That might be. I don't know if that's the first or second one.
That looks like it's under there. Let me think.
But it's under there. But on the first video that I posted there, the landing got cut out, which I just reposted the same video and it stayed in. So but
did the software cut it out?
I guess, I don't know. It was just it was just bizarre. It's just not there. But with that, right? Since it's 360,
was it right before this where it got cut out?
You can move. You can move the camera around and everything. So I don't know which one that is. If that's the latest one or not.
Okay.
But obviously, if that's it, then if it's landing, because like I said,
that is the latest one, I think, for the B-29. You put it on the B-29, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's this one. But anyway, go to our channel, guys. Help. Jenna's got 374 subscribers. We need to get it to 1,000. So,
I like self-500.
But yeah,
I put her channel and link in the chat. So
thank you.
Hey, Bird. Quadcopters Tech FPV joined too. Thanks for joining, guys.
One question I have, Jenna. Now I put the look in the chat. Is that link clickable? Because it seems like here lately, every time I post a link anywhere, it doesn't look like it's clickable on my end.
Let me stop sharing.
Is it? I put your link in there, Jenna, but it doesn't show clickable in my chat. for some
Oh
reason.
no, if I click on it, it goes to the
It's
channel.
clickable.
Okay,
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah.
not showing clickable on when I post it. Okay, on my
Yeah, it's a
side. All right.
hyperlink. Yeah, it
Yep.
works.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, so let's see, what else has been going on here in
Oh, so
20?
I want to go back and revisit your original questions, Al. One of them was predictions, what we'd like to see, in 2024. There's been a lot of speculation and a lot of other channels, people talking in the live, channels and shows that happen almost every night of the week. And I've seen a couple, I've been on a couple of shows. One thing I'm looking forward to after hearing rumors and speculation and stuff is an upgraded version of the Avata uh, and I say and or the potato, the FPV, either being a combination drone of some sort, either that or an upgraded Avata with something that's better than what it is now. I'd like to be able to go faster with the motion controller. I know that comes with some risk, but I need to learn how to use the sticks, and there's a bunch of people out there that rag on me about that. But I'm going to try to get that done this year. Learn how to fly manual and acro mode. But the potato, I have that as well now, and I love flying that for the speed. And I use the motion controller with that as well, the motion controller one, and I love flying with that thing. But if they did some type of hybrid of the two, I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe bigger props than the Avata has now, and maybe more battery life. And it could be a sub 250 drone. I don't know, which would probably mean less battery life.
At the, at the risk of sounding presumptuous, I would think that you'd be better off flying the FPV with the controller,
Yeah.
the potato first,
Oh,
because
okay.
it can get out of its own way easier and
Well,
fly
there the
high.
other, but the risk there is I crash one time and it's destroyed. The
But that's where
Avata
you,
can
yeah,
survive.
yeah,
The
no, you
Avata
do
can,
all your aerial moves about 200 feet high, and then
yeah, or higher.
yeah, no, I mean, because you got 100 feet,
Yeah, to hit the old crap button, right?
right. So that gives you plenty of time
Well, I got
to
the
abort.
RC and I've got everything I need to do it. I've got the Integra goggles. I got for the potato, I've got the goggles too. And so I do have an RC for that one as well. So I do need to do it, and I've just been putting it off. I've only flown once, and that was in Texas with Kelly and Sean Oz over at Sean's dad's property. I did it at like 250 feet in the air, and I did it for just 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but at least it was a start.
And I consider the potato, the POS, whatever you want to call it, the original DJI FPV, to be a hybrid. I know Maddie mentioned it, but it is a hybrid to me because, to get it into that full FPV mode, you have to fly it up. I usually do about 50 feet, and you have to have the sticks in the right position for it to go into full acro
Oh,
mode or manual mode. So you hit the button and then you'll see on your display, it said move the sticks here. Okay, and once you get them into that dead position, it'll come back and say you're now full manual mode. And then you could just drop out of the sky right there. Where in, I forget you have what, full manual mode, what's the other one, the middle one called? I forget.
sport or
Yeah,
sport mode?
sport, correct. In sports mode, you can't drop it out of the sky. You can lower it just like our normal GPS drones, picture drones. But once
Right.
you put it in full acro mode, it's just like us, just doing the dive. And I think that's going to give you the safety of boarding anytime you want, Brad, and you still have the
Hmm.
speed to pull out yourself without hitting that stick.
Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
But the Avata would definitely be the easiest to fly. But I
Yeah.
think you're beyond that, to be honest with you, because I've seen how you fly and you're gotten used to the sensation of having the goggles on your head. Remember the first time you put those goggles on, Jenna?
Oh
How it
gosh, yeah.
felt, yeah,
I was wonky.
It was like the first time you go swimming, you open your eyes, right?
I got motion sickness when I put the first time when I was in Spin Up 2021. Michael Wright let me fly his
Yeah.
potato, and I sat down. I had to sit down, and I got a little, I get motion sickness real easy, but I got over it pretty good. And then when I got the potato I have now and the Vada, I got over it quickly. I still, if it gets too hot outside, I might get a little motion sickness, but then I slow myself down, try to stop doing that Stevie Wonder thing.
Well, my point being, Brad, is this, that sensation of being uncomfortable will be the same with the sticks, but you'll get over it much faster now because your brain's already figured it out. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
This
oh, yeah.
visual thing is done, and now I only have to worry about the sticks. Where before, when we started, Jenna, we had to
Yeah.
do you had to do the goggles and the sticks. Brad, you have that advantage already that you don't have to get comfortable with,
Yeah.
the
True.
sensation of that visuals.
There will be a little, because when you do full acro and you just sticks and whatnot, there is a little bit more of this spatial, or the spatial aspect of
Spatial
it.
awareness and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but you'll you'll do fine. I mean, oh my God, you'll do fine.
I mean,
Brad,
that's about as far as I think I want to go with FPV. Right? I keep saying I don't want to go FPV. I don't want to go. I love building things. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to build, tune, program it, crash, and then rebuild, start all over again. I don't want to get into that cycle. I don't really have the money to do that. But
well,
um,
like
you
Jenna,
know,
like Jenna just told us a story earlier, right? That she got that really nice drone that Candono made, right? Do you want it? I should say.
yeah,
But it hit a couple branches and it came down, hit the pavement, but it didn't break. All you had to
Oh,
do
it's
is replace
fine.
props,
This thing's a
right?
beast.
I know. So,
With something like this, right? I
Brad,
mean,
with something like that, would survive whatever you did, unless you dunk it in the water. Okay?
and you don't have to, be doing a lot of, power loops and this. I mean,
Mm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fun, but if you just want to do more cinematic flying with something like this, you can, right? Or you got like a Cinewup, like the next version of that. I think DJI really struck or found a lane with that. And if they, in my view, I think if they came out with a next level Avada that allowed for better, like internal, uh, when you're flying indoors, right? Being able to capture video inside. I mean,
yeah,
what if you were to fly a line, and this is the line I wanted to fly, and what if you could program that line and you could just say, okay, now go fly this line again, but do it like really well. I mean,
yeah,
imagine the great video you could get
Yeah,
by doing all of
yeah.
that stuff.
yeah.
I think the AI and the software and everything is only going to get better, and it's going to be able to do what you're talking about, like an FPV type flight. If you program that, and it'll be able to fly itself in a sense in FPV mode. I
I
guess
would think
that
you,
would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, the waypoints you can program them now with the,
Well, that's with the camera drones, but not an FPV drone, right?
well, I think
Or
you're
even a
going to be
Cinema.
able to. Yeah, you're going to be able
Right.
to.
I mean,
So
the
you,
drones get
I don't see
smarter. I
why.
mean, what if you could do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching a lot of videos where these guys are doing a lot of waypoints where they do remote control boats, and they freaking go all over the place and come back. And
Hmm.
and I really don't know the point of it, but I guess just because it probably had about 200 points that it did. And so I guess the fun of it is programming it and be able to get it back from that long autonomous flight. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I know where. Oh, go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I was just agreeing.
The only other thing I was going to say, I know we're at the top of the hour. I'm not sure who's coming on next. The only other thing I wanted to say was I think, all the speak and talk about the bigger drones.
Mhm.
I think there's going to be a Mavic 4 sometime this year. And I think a lot of people believe that. So,
I want a
Or
7-inch.
Air 3S ish.
well, I thought about that. I think it still might be an Air 3S-ish come out or something along that. But I think a Mavic 4 is on its way as well, like next level. But maybe by the end of the year. Just speculation.
Yeah.
I am so excited about 2024. Like we mentioned earlier, I think it's going to be a really fast year. It's going to go by so fast. It's not going to be even funny. And I think the products that are coming out in 24, they're going to be coming out left and right from so many different companies. I wonder if Insta360 is going to prove out a smaller, lighter product. So I think, we've seen how GoPro has targeted the FPV market, and we've seen Insta360 targeted the FPV market. Do you think we'll have some more companies out there targeting the FPV market for cameras? That's a hard one to say because the O3 camera is just unbelievable, right, Jenna?
Yeah, honestly, I'd be surprised because
Me
I think
too.
the people who kind of, it's people that, really own the space, one, and two, that market as a whole for camera technology, specifically camera technology, is really, really, really small compared to
Niche.
the overall,
Hmm.
content capture market, if you will. I got the Osmo 3, Pocket, love it. But that is for a wider market for people who want to capture content in just videos and not use a cell phone. Because like the Pocket 3, for instance, its capabilities just, just really exceed, in my opinion anyway, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really love their hyperlapse. Motion lapse is actually what it's called. I love their motion lapse. And if you put it, you know, that Osmo 4 now, or is it a 3 now? Is Osmo 4? What is I don't know what
We
it
got the Action
is.
4 and the Pocket
Uh,
3.
we got the Pocket 3 now. The Pocket 3, if you power that thing up to a battery pack, that thing will do your motion lap all day long.
Yeah, and the low light
Yeah,
is incredible.
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
So let's talk about those sensors that we see in the Pocket 3. So they should be migrating all over, into the next generation cameras in the drones. Because let's face it, the Pocket 3 is just a drone gimbal on it, right?
Hmm.
And if you look at it, it's just the same freaking thing. It's just standing up, you
Yep.
know. And it's using the same facial recognition software to track you, and the auto, and now recognizes bicycles, motorcycles, boats, cars,
Yeah. That's only
people.
going to get better and better.
Now, did it recognize animals? I don't know. Can you
Yeah.
track
That's.
animals? Jenna,
No,
that's
but
what.
eye recognition. And
Can, can you
I
tell
mean,
me?
it's got to get better in a few areas.
Hmm.
Like Jake Sloan was saying, it doesn't need to be so quick, or you can at least adjust the quickness on how fast it'll snap back to focus between you and the background.
Right.
It's really nice. It doesn't give you that GoPro, action camera look where everything is just there.
Yeah,
The
you
camera.
got the depth of field here, and it really does give you that, that f-stop down low,
Yeah.
what we're always looking for, right? Like that 1.5, 1.4 f-stop. And even phones today will simulate that so well. Because if you put like the iPhone in portrait mode instead of just picture mode, it'll give you that bokeh we're looking for. So, wow,
Oh,
phone
will it?
flew. Wow,
Yeah,
it
it did.
flew.
We're after 8 o'clock. Yeah, been a good show. We've had a lot to talk about, and there's still more to talk about. And we
I
can talk
know.
about
I
this
think we
again
could
next
talk
week.
for another half hour, but we're not going to do that to you guys. I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that to you, to the panel. Jenna, it's good to see you. Happy New Year, Brad.
Yep, Happy
Same
New
to
Year,
you.
guys.
Yeah,
Uh,
Happy
and
New Year.
Happy New Year's. I just
Yep,
finished drinking
Avada. I
mine.
don't have anything. Wait a minute. Oh,
Potato, potato.
Oh, there you go.
Avada. I
Potato.
got sparkling something.
I want to
Sitting
thank
over here, we
everybody
got
for
a-
joining us tonight, guys. I really do appreciate it, man. You all have a wonderful, wonderful 2024. Thanks, John. Great show, he says. Yep, you're right. It was a great show. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Anyway, let's wave goodbye to everybody. Thanks again, guys. Have a good night and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
everybody.
New Year, everybody.
I got to hit
Yep.
two buttons.
Great